Okay, we are going into the wild.
This is part 6 of our Kgalagadi Winter adventure. In this episode, we do our last morning drive around Nossob and Mari's Loop early in the morning and make preparations to leave for Polentswa, which would be our very first wild camping experience at the Polentswa part of the park. We didn't rush to leave that morning to go through to Polentswa too soon because it's only 2 hours at a leisurely drive from Nossob, and we rather decided to spend the morning enjoying the facilities at the premium campsites, having our last really decent hot shower before 4 nights in Polentswa, as well as prepping food and making sure everything was packed and ready for a wild camp setup.
Okay, we are going into the wild.
The bateliers this particular trip were extraordinary. We saw them pretty much almost every single day, if not the full adult or the juvenile bateliers, which are equally as beautiful. So it was really fun to photograph them on so many different occasions.
As campers and wildlife lovers, amateur photographers and video content makers, we absolutely love the Kgalagadi. Last summer, we and our family, or myself and my family, did something that we've never done before, and we took ourselves out of a comfort zone and went through to Rooiputs for 2 nights. This winter, we decided to, or we're lucky enough to get a booking further up north at Polentswa for 4 nights. I think we had feelings of overwhelming excitement knowing that we're going to a new place, a wilderness place that we've never been to before, and not knowing what to expect. One of our preparations for going through to Polentswa was, when we were still back in Cape Town, is watching some of our favorite YouTubers and their experiences that they had at Polentswa. As mentioned in previous episodes, Carmen and myself and our kids, we do this for memories. We do this to look back in many years' time and just kind of reminisce of the adventures that we have been on. but also at the same time, we're also there to kind of help and share our experiences with those of you that are watching us and, you know, enjoy our content. We're always looking to improve, you know, how we capture moments and, you know, loading content or, you know, capturing content. So if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions, you know, to help us in the future, always appreciated.
What? Hello.
I remember the first time I saw a lilac-breasted roller. It was in the Kruger National Park on one of our summer trips, and I was just absolutely floored by how incredibly beautiful these birds truly are. They've got the most extraordinary colors, and when they fly, they almost glow. They really are quite something to behold.
On our way into Polentswa, we came across two female lions lying under a bush around about midday. One was absolutely beautiful and in really good condition. Her sister, I'm assuming, was not. She was quite emaciated and did not look in good health at all. Having seen these females around about 700 meters from Polentswa camp itself, was a nice eye opener for the kids, just to let them know that there are wild animals that are around us, and there are no fences, and that we need to be extra careful and vigilant.
Okay, so same rules as Rooiputs, guys. No talking by yourself. And then don't be complacent.
Always look around.
As you can see, the line's literally 700 meters from here. Actually less, but as a crow flies. So they can come through to the water holes here anytime.
Polentswa is made up of 3 campsites, so it is not a very big camp area. Whilst we were there were only ever 2 campsites occupied at a time, so one of the 3 never really ever arrived. It is really beautiful. You overlook a beautiful pan with the number 1 campsite at the lowest level and the number 2 campsite where we spent our first 3 nights at the highest level. The 3rd campsite is slightly to the side as well as in between in terms of height or elevation from 1 and 2. All 3 campsites can see each other, so you don't feel completely isolated when you are at Polentswa. You aren't that close, but you are close enough to hear loud noises. There is absolutely no water in the taps at Polentswa. There is a pit toilet as well as a shower cubicle, but there is no running water, nor is there a sink. All 3 campsites otherwise have great trees and space and shade, as well as the standard Botswana A-frame. Like at Rooiputs, Polentswa has no fences. None of the Botswana side of the park is fenced at all. You need to be able to camp sustainably, knowing that whatever you take, you have to leave with. So all your rubbish goes with you when you leave. There are no bins at Polentswa, and because you don't have water at Polentswa, you need to be able to take all your own firewood, water, etc. Yeah, we're going there. That's 1. We're going up now. 2. Okay, we're at Polentswa. We did not do a time lapse of setting up because we were just a little bit nervous. We're at campsite number 2, and I'm going to do a little walkabout. There's the toilet, which is not great. Shower, no water. Our famous A-frame. Kids are still in the car. We created a kraal. I hope the wind's not too bad, but if it is, I'll do an overlay. And we dug a fire pit. Ta-da! We got the fridge connected up to our trailer for solar. The solar panel sits nicely over there. Here is our inside. We charge everything from our hanging basket. Thanks, Mum. And we use the extra shelf just for storage and packing space. A little bit tired, a little bit hot. You'd never say it's winter. This is our little prep area. Kids' chairs. We velcroed ourselves in so that nothing can sneak in, and something I'll do in the future is velcro the green sheet, but for now we're just using those heavy duty pegs, so at least nothing can get into our little internal room or external room. There it is. So we feel quite safe in this little nook, and then we put our windshield to create like a circular kraal, so that we can sit here at night and not fret about what's behind us. And our fireplace will sit there. We'll obviously park the car further forward, but that's the view. Hopefully we get some stars tonight.
One of the absolute favorite things to do while staying at Polentswa was to spend a little bit of time every morning and every afternoon at the Polentswa waterhole. On one particular afternoon, we arrived and discovered two really beautiful juvenile battaliers playing around. It was pretty evident that they did not come to hunt at the Polentswa hole, which was the usual for most of the raptors that we saw there, but rather to enjoy the afternoon sun and have a drink of water. We must have spent about 10 minutes watching them play around until we saw our neighbors drive past us heading south. We decided to start up our engines and follow them to see what they were looking at.
In the car, love. Keep your hands in the car.
It turned out that there were 3 female lions walking in the road.
One of those 3 female lions was considerably emaciated and quite sad to look at. She was lying on the side of the road, and when she got up, it was quite frightening to see how her frame was so skeletal. We spent the next few days watching her, thinking that she was about to die, but the one day when we had stopped right next to her and we had thought she perhaps was gone, she suddenly lifted her head when she heard some other antelope in the background, and it gave us all quite a big fright.
A short while later, a male lion appeared out of nowhere. They were absolutely stunning, and what a sighting. What made this sighting even better was that one of the females seemed to have been hunting. Because the riverbank was so high, it made it really easy for her to hunker down and wait for anything that came out the bushes. Unfortunately, she did not get lucky, and before we knew it, it was time to head back to camp.
Driving back to camp at sunset left us feeling full of anticipation for the next 4 nights, knowing that the lions were roughly 600 meters from where we were staying. There's always that little bit of anxiety. It would have been much nicer to have seen them catch one of those antelope. Then we would at least know that they wouldn't be hungry. But it was a wonderful, wonderful afternoon and evening, and we really, really did enjoy that first night with a few surprises later on in the middle of the night. This is our setup at night. We've got a plugged in light under the tree. Our car. This is our little crawl. The A-frame. There's Jay. Kaylin, wave.
Hi.
And there's supper. And the wine.
There's the wine.
And there's the bread. No, it's pretty enough without the light. I don't know about you guys, but nothing quite beats sitting around a fire at a campsite on a perfect starry night, enjoying a glass of wine and just soaking up the atmosphere. That is probably my favorite part of every adventure we go on, is the wind down in the evening. Capturing a glimpse of this gorgeous little Cape Fox at night, every night really, was such a treat for us. He would come around very much like the jackals did at Rooiputs and many of the other campsites, but he was the resident Cape Fox and most adorable. I do hope that you have enjoyed this episode. It was one of my favorites to make up, and I can't wait for you to see the next 4 nights. So until the next time, take care.